Greetings, my beautiful soul brothers and sisters. How are you today, this beautiful Tuesday, 4th of February? Welcome once again to my online FB Live, The Great Gathering. This is episode 4, and my name is Sapna Chandaria. I am an intuitive energy healer. For those of you joining and connecting for the first time, I have been working with energy medicine for over 20 years now, and it is my absolute pleasure to be with you here today. I apologize for my tardiness today. I think the universe had me doing other stuff. But here we are. As usual, divine timing does control and rule everything. So welcome once again. Today we have a lot to talk about once again, and here we are on the 4th of February. We are moving into an incredible month. This is a leap year, so even though February does have 29 days, it is going to be absolutely packed with goodness and fullness. So be ready, guys. This week, actually, I would say Sunday, we came through another powerful energy, which is the palindrome energy, where the date was 02/02/2020, and again, another numerological power day. I did post something in my group, so if you want to learn more about how these energies have affected you, please go check this incredible article out. So February is definitely a month for harmony and balance, yet a powerful month of spiritual awakening and growth. Very, very powerful for spiritual awakening and growth. So how do we achieve to this with harmony, balance, the reminders that we are infinite beings and that we need to step into our flow? Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. So remember, February is 29 days. Again, a shift in the energy because we have a whole extra day this year. We are being called again to step into our power, and all of the energies are there to align with us and to help us through this. This month, we have the new moon coming up on the 8th of February. We have Mercury going retrograde on the 16th of February until early March. I believe that happens for a couple of weeks. February 18th, is Mercury in retrograde. And as we continue, usually about 2.5 to 3 weeks of Mercury in retrograde. If you have any questions about that, please do feel free to get in touch. But generally, Mercury is the planet of communications. And so the advice from the universe is to not sign contracts, to not get into deals with new people that you haven't worked with before, not to buy any electronics, not to buy any furniture or, big items like TVs, cars, even phones. So see how this affects your life. Things feel like they're slowing down on one level, but it also gives us a really good time to take a break, breathe, pause, meditate, and get back into being that energy of our authentic self. So once again, welcome to everyone who's still joining. Today, I'm going to continue the conversation about the vibrational frequencies. Thank you to everyone who gave me your amazing feedback from the last session. I hope I am incorporating some of what you told me, so thank you. Vibrational frequencies. This conversation continues. This conversation continues. big reminder, that we are part of a giant, giant quantum field of energy. And what does that mean? It means that we are governed by the laws of the universe. We're governed by the laws of energy. We are part of a whole. We are a small part of a whole. And so the theories of vibrational frequencies are based on quantum physics. And Albert Einstein was a big channeler in some ways. He gave us so much information about this quantum field of energy. And what he, sorry, I'm here again on my notes, but what he said about vibrational frequencies is that there exists a biofield. And this has been proven over and over and over again, that even as we may be a physical body, we are still a physical body of matter. And matter can exist in so many different vibrations, in solid form, in energetic form, in whatever way it manifests. So again, in our energy fields, we're physical, we're emotional, we're astral, we're spiritual, we're etheric. And what does all of this mean? And really what this comes down to is the fact that we are part of a much bigger energy field. So currently in the new sciences today, in modern science, is a field of research coming up called epigenetics. And what this is about research into how cells develop into different uses from the environment that it is exposed to. So experiments have been done where the same cells have been taken and then exposed to different environments. And each of these cells have developed into different cells. So muscle cells or tissue cells or organ cells, for example. And therefore, the conclusion that was reached was that the fate of our cells is controlled by the chemistry in our blood, which in turn is affected by our environment. So I'll say that again. The fate of our cells in our blood is controlled, the fate of our cells is controlled by the chemistry in our blood, which in turn is affected by our environment. So for example, if we're happy and peaceful, we create serotonin and we create dopamine, so we create the happy hormones. And that is the physiological reaction that'll go from our brain into our blood, and therefore that is the environment that we will create around us. Whereas if we're under stress and we are in a state of fight or flight and we're creating adrenaline, that is the hormone that is going to go into our blood, and that is going to create the stress. And that is, of course, going to be what creates our reality. So once again, think about your environment. Think about what you are creating. Are you creating a happy environment around you? Are you in a stressful environment? And what can you do to change it? So our perceptions are connected to our environment and our chemistry, which is the expression of who we are, okay? So remember that where our mind goes, energy flows. Where our mind goes, energy flows. Our conscious mind is the creative part of who we are. Our subconscious mind is the habitual part of who we are. And so we need to make these changes in our subconscious mind. I find those two really weird to connect, subconscious and mind, because for me, the subconscious is the body. But remember that our conscious mind is our creative mind, and our subconscious is the habitual, okay? So how does this affect our energy field? Every single thought that we create or that comes to us ends up being the expression of who we are. And as we vibrate at the frequencies of fear or pain or victimization or having to sacrifice something in order to achieve something else, all we're doing is lowering our energy field and creating that reality for ourselves. So again, remember that we are part of a big, huge, massive quantum energy field. Okay, this is called the biofield. And this was a study done by Albert Einstein many years ago, where he also says that the field is the sole governing agency of the particle. Okay, the soul governing agency. So the field has this element of the soul in it. So let me take a couple of steps back. Physiologically, when we are happy, when we are smiling and laughing and enjoy, our body and our brain creates serotonin, dopamine, happy hormones. This is the chemistry that goes into our blood that affects our state of being, which then creates our reality. In the same way, if we live in a state of fear or fight or flight, which creates the adrenaline and therefore the stress hormone, that is the reality that we create. So really, please check your thoughts, check where your mind ends up going. Remember that where your mind goes, energy flows. So are you living in a state where your thoughts are negative, where your energy is low, where your feelings are based on what other people think of you? How are you affecting your own energy? Okay, because ultimately, this is where it all comes down to. You affect your reality, and how do you get into a place where you're able to take care of your own thoughts, your own emotions, your own sense of well-being? Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. This is fantastic. I have actually people joining from all over the world today. This is wonderful. Today, we're talking about vibrational energies and frequencies and how our belief systems affect our reality. And really, why I am creating these sessions of the Great Gathering is, first of all, to create this community of like souls to be able to come together, but also to remind us that for us to truly change our reality, we have to examine the question of who am I? Who am I? Who are we? Are we simply a physical body, masculine or feminine, brown hair, brown eyes, Indian, Kenyan, white, European, whatever? I mean, is that truly who we are? No, is the answer to that. Yes, of course, it's a part of it, but who are we? And ultimately, we are soul expressions of our divinity. We are soul expressions of our divinity. And for those joining now, I spoke a little bit just now about something called the field, the biofield, which is researched by Albert Einstein. And he, in his research, talks about the soul governing agency of the particles that exist in the universe. And so there's a huge intelligence within this biofield. This biofield is what we are made of as well. And therefore, our soul expresses its divinity in this biofield. No matter what, this may sound a little bit out there, but please do go back into the replay and watch this again so that you can start understanding how we are able to use our energy to create and manifest whatever life it is that we desire. And that includes being able to heal ourselves. That includes being able to co-create. That includes being able to help others by filling our own cup and being in service to others. So every single level of who we are, if you connect this into the chakra system one more time, is achievable, right? We all know that things don't happen to us. We create our reality. And how do we start creating a reality that raises the vibration of this planet, raises the consciousness of this planet, that allows us to truly live our soul purpose? I'll leave that there for a second. How do we create our reality to raise the consciousness of this earth and this planet, and at the same time live our soul purpose? Really powerful stuff. Okay, so remember that our molecules of emotion, whether that's happy, whether that's sad, anger, fear, jealousy, pride, ego, they go all over our body. And in turn, eventually manifest as physical disease. I had mentioned in, I think, the first or the second episode of this great gathering that I had healed myself from several chronic diseases, one of them being vitiligo. And vitiligo is a disease of the skin, which is depigmentation, where you see people with sort of white patches all over their body. And I remember going to the doctor and the doctor telling me that I was going to have this disease for the rest of my life. And I had luckily already started on my healing and spiritual path by then. This was probably in my sort of mid-20s. And I just said, no, that's not going to happen to me. And I went back and back and back and back into the understanding of what is the core belief system that created this disease in me. And it was so interesting because it was absolutely spot on. The belief for vitiligo, the limiting belief for vitiligo, is that I felt like I didn't belong. I didn't belong where I was. I wasn't happy. And it was quite amazing that my body was able to manifest this disease. Ultimately, it took me about 2 years to 2.5 years to heal myself, but I don't have a trace of it left. And I did not take a single pill. I did not take a single injection. And I know the power of our mind versus what we can achieve in our reality. So any of you who are suffering from any kind of ailment, whether it's physical, whether it's mental, emotional, or spiritual, send me a message and I will help you figure out the core belief. And then hopefully using these techniques that I'm giving you on these live videos, you will be able to heal yourselves. And another thing that I realize in today's world is that as we go deeper into the question of who am I, it all comes down to self-care. And self-care is being able to diagnose yourself. What is going on with you? Diagnosis, self-care, all of that comes from a place of wanting to achieve a deeper sense of self-love. And it's such a beautiful, magical journey. And once again, I'm here to support you. That is what this community is for. So please feel free to connect and to be open and honest and candid and getting into these parts of our authentic self that are so key for us to truly step into our power. Okay, so the next topic I wanted to, address today, because again, it's amazing how the universe during the week of between these videos, the universe brings me topics that I need to talk about either through my clients or through conversations with friends. And one of the biggest topics that came up this week, not just once, but 3 times, which is a huge sign that this is important, is addressing the energies of the masculine and the feminine. What are the energies of the masculine and the feminine? What does this mean? Remember that each of us have the masculine and the feminine within us, okay? You may be a man in a male body, but you have the feminine as well. You may be a woman and gorgeous in this female body, but you are also masculine. And one of the things that came through really strongly is that women today, and I think for probably for a couple of generations, have really been abused in their femininity. We haven't been given the space or the permission or the love or the safety and the security and the freedom to truly express our femininity. You know, what are the feminine energies? Being softer and gentle, having our intuition come out really strongly, being in the moment, being present. Whereas masculine energies are about being strong and, warrior-like. And, the last 2,000 years have had wars and ego and greed and pride. So you can start seeing the difference between these energies. And now, whether you're a man or a woman, we really are being called to balance these energies within ourselves. Once again, February is going to be a month of harmony and balance. And this is where I believe all of this is coming from, is that the universe wants us to start balancing into these deepest parts of who we are. So if you're a woman and you have been really expressing yourself from your masculine energies, career focused, driven, headstrong, stubborn, I really invite you to start softening, breathing, allowing for yourself to receive love, to receive information, to receive from the universe, from your partners, from your spouses, from your children. And as a man who needs to balance out more of your feminine energies, again, the same thing, soften, breathe, meditate, do some yoga, start doing some physical exercise, get into your bodies, maybe dance. What are we being called to do? We are being called to balance. And once we balance, we are able to create more harmony, first of all, within ourselves. We're able to create more harmony in our world around us, in our homes, in our families. And it's from this place of harmony where we have created space and let go of things that don't serve us anymore. When we create this space, we're allowed and able to bring in new understandings, new clarity, new parts of our being that are waiting to come in so that we can co-create. Okay, remember that we are co-creating from a place of love, magic, synchronicity, intuition, and we need space to do this. So if we're full of old stuff, hate, anger, karma, shame, guilt, there is no space and room to be able to balance into these authentic parts of who we are. So I hope once again this all makes sense. Please feel free to ask questions, to create a conversation, to post things that are relevant to these topics. Again, also please feel free to suggest some topics that you'd like to know more about. I'm really sort of creating a template and then giving you information from the universe and what I'm being told to show you. Yeah, feel free to connect. And let me also introduce today's prompt and today's question to you, which is, how does our energy field, or let's say our quantum energy field, affect our experience and existence? So how do you think your energy field affects your existence and your experiences? I wonder if some of you have heard of the saying that the sum of the whole is greater than its parts. The sum of the whole is greater than its parts. What does this mean? I'd like you to meditate on this and send me some feedback, because it really is the new reality. Have any of you heard of Gaia.com, Gaia? If you go onto Gaia.com and you watch any of the documentaries there on energy, or The Biology of Belief, for example, by Bruce Lipton, he talks a lot about how, again, our thoughts affect our reality, and therefore what it is that we're carrying in our energy field that affects our existence and our experience. Okay, so something's just come to me, and I'm being asked to remind you and to show you that when we have to let go of certain things, of certain people, of belief systems, of things, it can be even material things, of the past, of situations, we need to start bringing in the vibrational frequency of what it feels like to let go. And this is now going into and coming from our emotional bodies. What does it feel like to let go? What does it feel like to forgive? What does it feel like to have space? So, okay, I'm going to give you all an online healing just now, and download into everyone, for example, right now who's watching, and also everyone who is going to be watching later, the energy of what it feels like to let go. So I invite you to just close your eyes for a second, take a deep breath, keep your feet firmly planted on the ground, bringing your energy into and your awareness into the present moment. As I connect into the energy of the creator of all that is, or the source of all that is. Just opening your hearts to receive this healing. Wonderful. Wow, I didn't know that that was going to happen, but thank you for indulging me in the universe to be able to receive. So once again, as we close this week's episode of The Great Gathering, I invite you to really bring your awareness into your hearts, come from your hearts, and soften into whatever it may be, whether you're a masculine energy or feminine energy. Maybe some women and men need to step more into your masculine. Stand your ground, be firm, be clear, be honest, and understand how to reach this balance within yourselves. Think about how your energy affects your existence and your experiences. Remember that where your mind goes, your energy will flow to. Remember that it is our conscious mind that is our creative mind. And so once again, be very careful and be very aware of what you're creating. And it is our subconscious mind that is our habitual mind. And so whatever those habits are that don't serve you anymore come from your subconscious mind. One of the other things that I've been working on this week is offering a healing for the shell over your soul purpose. Get in touch, please, if you would like to find out more about this. It's a very, very powerful healing. It is deep in our Akashic records, and the results that I've been getting with the people that I've been working on it last week are pretty powerful. They feel lighter. They feel more like themselves. Again, stepping into their authentic selves. It feels like lives and eons of stuff that have been carried are finally gone, and we don't have to carry these burdens anymore. So again, lots of tools, lots of information. Please feel free to get in touch. I will post a deeper and more detailed account of what today's episode has been about. And I wish you all a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous week. I hope that you breathe, stay present, meditate, and love yourselves to yet another level. And most of all, be playful and have fun. Lots of love to you all. Please get in touch if you need anything from me. I'm here to support you. And I wish you an amazing, amazing week. Thank you so much once again for joining me.